All right, let's get this straight. Because somewhere along the line, the role of a supervisor in NEC4 got seriously misunderstood. I've heard it all before. Aren't supervisors just there to sign stuff off? Isn't it just ticking boxes? You're just a quality checker, right? No. Nope. Not even close. And if you're a contractor, project manager, or even a new supervisor yourself, stick around. Because this is the video that tells the truth about what we actually do, and why it matters more than people realize. Let's start with the most common misunderstanding. The idea that the supervisor is just there to give things a tick and move on. A glorified clipboard carrier. A box ticker. Some people genuinely believe our job is walk around site, nod, sign a piece of paper, leave. That's not a supervisor, that's a ghost. Under NEC4, the supervisor is a named person in the contract. You are appointed by the client, not the contractor. And your job is to monitor and ensure the works meet the contract scope, not the mood of the site, not someone's personal idea of good enough. The scope, that means specifications, drawings, tolerances, standards. If the contract says a cover slab needs to meet BS 8500 or the welds must follow EN 1090, then that is what you're inspecting against, not vibes, not memory, not last week's shortcut. Let's talk about allegiance. One of the trickiest things for supervisors on site is that they're often embedded with the contractor. They might even sit in the same office, use the same kettle, chat to the same foreman every morning. So what happens when a pour is running late? When a delivery is wrong? When the reinforcement doesn't quite line up? You might hear, "Come on, mate, just sign it. We'll fix it after." No, that's not how it works. The supervisor's obligation is to the client and to the contract. That's not just ethics. That's written in contract clauses throughout NEC4. So when I say no to a pour or reject a bit of prep, it's not personal. It's professional. I'm not doing it for a pat on the back. I'm doing it because if we allow non-compliance, it becomes the standard, and if we don't raise defects, we fail our duty. If we don't inspect with integrity, we put the entire project at risk. And trust me, no one thanks you for turning a blind eye when something goes wrong months later. Let's define what we actually do. Supervision in NEC4 is about control, not micromanaging, not being a bottleneck, but verifying that the work delivered matches what was agreed. That includes notifying defects, clause 43.2, witnessing tests and inspections, checking workmanship and materials, reviewing ITPs, supporting the PM with early warnings when quality is at risk. It also includes good record keeping, diaries, photos, hold point verifications, because when disputes arise, no one remembers what happened. The only thing that matters is what you documented. And let me say this clearly. Good supervisors are not just eyes and ears. We're the memory of the job. You ever been called a blocker? Happens all the time. You're slowing us down. You're being too strict. It's just a manhole, matey. Listen, I get it. Pressure's on. Deadlines are tight. But being a supervisor doesn't mean being anti-progress. It means protecting progress from poor decisions. Think of it like this. The supervisor is the circuit breaker, the safety catch, the one who says, "Stop. Let's make sure this is right." You don't build quality through apologies. You build it through inspection, communication, and backbone. The best supervisors I know aren't just respected. They're trusted. Contractors know that when Coop says it's a go, it's solid. No rework and no hidden risk. Now let's talk about respect. You don't get it by waving a spec around. You get it by knowing your stuff, being consistent, and standing your ground when it counts. You also get it by explaining why, listening without bending the rules, or being prepared to say no with reason, not ego. And here's the magic trick. The more clearly you explain your decisions, the less pushback you get. I once told a foreman, "I'm not here to stop your pour. I'm here to make sure it doesn't come back to haunt you on handover." He never questioned me again. Supervisors set the tone for QA on site. If you're calm, fair, clear, and confident, others follow suit. That's leadership. That's culture. Let's talk about signatures. That sign-off, that isn't just ink. It's accountability. It says, I checked this. I understood it. I believe it meets the scope. And if it doesn't, you're on the hook. Maybe not legally, but reputationally. So don't sign unless you mean it. Don't accept pressure. Don't get lazy. And don't forget that every sign-off is a signal to the client. This was done right. Because if it isn't, and things go wrong, the question always comes back. Who checked this? Who signed this off? Why didn't anyone speak up? You'd be the one who did. So what isn't a supervisor? We're not clerks, not box tickers, not optional extras, we're not blockers, we're buffers against chaos, we don't guess, we verify, we don't rush, we record, and we don't disappear, we show up. That's what the supervisor role is. That's what NEC4 expects, and that's what good projects deserve. I'm Coop. It's a defect. Like, share, tag the supervisor on your job who needs a pat on the back, or maybe a wake-up call. And remember, scope is law, integrity is power, and defects don't wait. See you on site.